All right, all right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome back to Corbellic Studios. You're back to another grand painting show that we're about to do right now. You're here for the best painting streaming service that we have right now. We're going to be talking about today's topic. We're going to be talking about how to scale your business. All right. So this is going to be a great topic to really go on. I could talk about this for a long time, but this is going to be a great thing to really put your mindset into how to scale your business because you're capable of scaling your business. That's the fun part, is really being that you can put yourself in a business mode, and then you can start knowing how to organize yourself and how to get yourself ready so that way you can scale up. Because look, when a job pays you only a salary, and you can't go any higher. You're at a ceiling. What they call it, you can't break through the glass ceiling, right? All right, so the best part about scaling up when it comes to eBay is that the sky is the limit. It's up to you. It's up to you. Look, one of the things that I get so excited about, and I think I want to make a short video after this talking about it, is that you need to celebrate your small wins. You need to celebrate the one bid. You need to celebrate your first buy it now. You need to celebrate when you have your first, even if it's somebody buy something at a low entry. Those are things to be so excited about. I remember for me, it was like Christmas morning when someone purchased my art for the first time, and it was a low bid. It didn't matter. I'm collecting a buyer. I'm collecting a collector where I'm having a relationship on there with the person. And then that way I could be able to build on that. I know if I could do that once, then I could keep doing it. It's up to me. I remember before I started eBay, one of the things that I prayed to God on, and I didn't know what direction I was going to go in because at this time I was kind of dabbling around in art, but I wasn't really doing it. I mean, when I was doing art, I was doing it from a kid's perspective when I was just younger, but I didn't do it any time in my adult years. I wasn't doing it like when I was working all of my corporate jobs, and I kept doing all these corporate jobs because I thought that that was the way. So that's just another life lesson as well too. Sometimes in life you're going to find out that the things that you think that you want, or the things that you're living for on society, they're not meant for you. And God is trying to always tell you where you fit at. It's like no matter what, it's just not going to work for you. It's just not your personality trait. It's not who you are. And I remember praying to God. I was like, I just wanted an opportunity where I could have something to scale. All right, so that's what we're going to be talking about today, scaling your business, where I could just have something that's mine at the end of the day, where it's like, if I could just make my own money off of it, then I know I could scale it. I can know how to improve on it. I know how I can make it better, and it's my own, compared to I'm working these dead end jobs, or these jobs where I'm doing numbers on finance stuff that doesn't even matter. And then at the end of the day, it's like I'm still getting paid the same. I can't make any more. Like, we all been in these situations, right? Where you need that little bit of extra money, right? You need a little bit of, like, just a little bit of slack, because a little bit of slack goes a long way, right? It'll help you out. And I couldn't get a little bit of slack because my job only pays this, and my paycheck is always going to be this every week or every 2 weeks. And it just sucked. And the only way that I could get some slack is maybe if I got a part-time job. But who wants to get a part-time job? Because then only part-time jobs is going to be things that you really don't want to do, which is either going to be retail or fast food or something like that. And I can't do that. And I'm also not going to drive my car into the ground by doing Uber or something like that. So this is just a way where I was able to scale my business, but I was able to scale my business from home, and with little upfront of cost. A lot of businesses, when they start off, they have to put up so much money up front just to even get started, but we don't. I mean, we have a little bit of a upstart fee to jump the business, but that's any business, but it's way better than any business out there. Like, ours is probably the minimum because we don't have to do any kind of like drop shipping fees where they have to pay thousands of dollars on advertisement. They have to even pay to even get started with Amazon and things like that. So we don't have to deal with any of that, and it's up to us. So this really excites me. Like, I could just keep talking about it. It really excites me because scaling is everything. When you get your first sale, it's everything. It's everything. Like, I'm always so excited when I hear somebody say they got their first sale, or you only get a few sales. Like, this is something you need to be excited about even your first year. Like, your first year, don't even think about the numbers all like that. Just be thankful to God that you're able to play the game and that you're able to get these collectors because you're able to scale it. One of my favorite quotes that I've heard like 30 years ago is that nobody pays you like you pay yourself. Meaning that here I'm working a corporate job and I might make close to $200,000 a year, but yet it feels so much better when somebody pays me $10 or $20. I feel way better off of that because I can scale that $10. I can scale that $20. I can make $1 million out of that. Or anytime that I need extra money, I know how to scale that $10 to $20. I can't scale what they're paying me at my job and then giving me more responsibilities, and I have no ownership of it. So that's what I want to talk about today. Let's see who we have here in the comments. All right, we got Lee in here. Good morning, Lee. We got Taurus in here. Morning. We got Maria. Hey, Maria. We got 717 Best. Afternoon. We got Maria. Let's see. NL. We got let's see. We got AZ Lady. Hello, morning. We got Jim in here. We got Lillian in here. Sunflower Artist. Well, we got the whole crew in here. We got the whole crew in here. Especially today is Thursday. So Thursday is kind of like our Friday because I don't do a live stream on Friday, but I'm always working. See, that's the thing too. Like, what you don't know, or probably you do know, but I'm always working. I work like 10 to 12 hours. So even though when I get done with this painting, like then I'll get onto the community. I'll do some coaching. Like I have a live coaching after this. So I do have to make this into an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. I have to check on what the time is. But yeah, I have a coaching after this. And then I'm always on the computer. I have other businesses. And then I'm always just working the community as well and also drafting courses or just different mindsets or just even different videos we're editing. So I'm working like 10, 12-hour days all the time. Even on Friday, I come in and that's the time that I get to catch up and I get to do some content. So I'm excited about some of the content that I'm going to be able to film tomorrow and then be able to release the next week. And then Saturday is like I get a little bit of off time, but I still come in to work. And then Sunday I work as well, where we have our Q&As where we get together. Then after that, I always have 2 other meetings, business meetings with some business people that I always work with. All right, let's see who we have here. All right, so we got the whole crew here. Morning, everybody. Good morning. All right, we got the Sweet Life here. All right, dang, we got a Pam Jam House. All right, if you haven't already, please leave a like in the comments or please leave a like on this video below. Please leave a like so that way eBay or eBay, I'm thinking of eBay, right? YouTube knows in the algorithm that we got a good thing going, right? That we're doing God's work out here. All right, so the first painting that we're gonna do, I'm gonna do a larger one. I'm gonna be doing a 16 by 20. This is gonna be a 16 by 20 cubism, and yeah, it's going to be a good time. So let's knock this out, but I'm starting to get a little parched. Let me grab my water real quick. Apologies. Hope everybody is good. You got some good work coming up. Excited about the work that you're going to do today. Remember that Wednesdays, Thursdays are the important days. Those are the days that we really need to focus in because those are the days that lands on the 10-day duration, and it's the Saturday, Sundays. Those build up the foundation because those are the days that people have off and they have time to bid on your artwork. So those are the most popular days. Also, Monday's a popular day as well too. So don't miss out on the Monday because those are popular days as well. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Really, Friday is like a hit or miss. You know, sometimes you might have a low sale on a Friday, but don't have it drag you down because really that's just setting up the foundation. As long as you have a heavy Friday or that you have a consistent Friday and then people bid on it, or you see that maybe it's like half and half, it could be a hit or miss. it's really just the setup. It's a great foundation for your Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So I always think of Fridays like that, because Fridays people usually, when they get, you think people are getting paid and they just want to give you their money right away. Usually it's not like that. It's usually they get paid and then they want to go out, they want to take their wife out to dinner, they want to spend time with their kids, and they want to get away from work, and they usually do things like that. So that's why it's a hit or miss on the auction night. But I mean, it could also be successful too. I mean, Fridays are hit or miss, but it's always a good foundation, because it's the foundation for the combined shipping. 80% chance, 80% the orders that come in on the Friday, they're going to give you business on Saturday, Sunday. They're going to do the combined order shipping. It's not going to be as heavy with the combined like that, on the probability rate when you're thinking of a Tuesday, Wednesday, right? But when it's that Friday, the Friday sets up the foundation for the combined shipping. All right. So I just dropped a elite gem right there for you. Orange Pom Pom. Hey, how you doing? Morning, everybody. Leave a like in here if you haven't already. All right, let's do this. Let's get this started right now. All right, this is our cubism. This is a painting that I've done prior. Like I said, I like using the same references of paintings that I've done before. That way I know I could do it, but I could just do it in a different style. I could do it in a different color. I could do whatever I want. I do references, that's my references all the time, and I do references that we pull up from AI, right? And we show how we do the prompts inside the elite community. If you're not already part of the elite community, click the link that's in the chat. It's pinned to the top, and you can do this all yourself. I have everything built out for you. Plus, there's a community to help you. All right, let's do this. Let's do a background. I don't even know what the background color is going to be on this one. Does it matter? Nope, it doesn't matter. So let's just do blue. Blue's always been my favorite color. This morning, I added a little bit of blue here, right? So I have the cobalt blue, and then I pulled out the wrong one. It doesn't matter, but you can see this is navy blue, so it's a little bit darker, and it's on top of it. It's fine. It doesn't matter. Like, I'm not particularly a type of person where I like my food touching each other on a plate, but it's fine on paint. I'll let my paint touch each other on the palette. This is the only place where I let my food touch touch each other, is on the palette. All right, look at that. We just got a blue in here, and then I'm going to lighten it up too. I'm going to lighten it up with some cream, because why not? And then a little bit of white, because why not? Is anybody doing anything for Super Bowl? Are y'all having like a Super Bowl weekend thing? Like having family over, having friends over? Do you do things like that? I'm not really into I'm not into sports. I haven't watched any football. And I don't know. Like, I'm into food. So maybe I'll do something with the family where I'll do something like just for the food sake of it. And my son wants to see the new commercial, or I guess the trailer for Doomsday, the Marvel movie, or whatever the movies are. They're going to have movie trailers in. I mean, that's the only thing I guess to do it for. But other than that, like I told you, I don't want to, I don't want, I don't want to, I don't want to participate in their superb owl. But I do want to eat. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe so. I'll let you know. I got so many things I got to take care of. For anyone who was part of the live stream yesterday, Let me know what you think about that one. If you was able to get some gems off of it, if it was helpful to you, some of the mistakes and things that I've learned about eBay or things that I would do different. Did you lose audio? I hope not. Let me know if you lost. Let me know if you lost any audio. If you can still hear me. Hey, Lazar Vision. Hi, Sally. Morning, Discerning Light. Audio's fine, Discerning Light says. All right, cool. 717 Best says, who doesn't like to eat? Exactly. Sally Mae says, hit the likes. Yes, please hit the likes. Hit the likes. Hit the likes if you haven't already. Hit the likes in here. Let's close this week out with a banger. Also, if you're able to, leave me a super chat. Let me know that you appreciate it. Those really go a long way to me. You have no idea. Even if it's a couple bucks or whatever, really goes a long way. And then that also helps with the algorithm as well with YouTube. Helps keep the lights on. All right, let's do this. Let's see. 717 Best says, who doesn't like to eat? I know, right? Like that's my whole thing. I love to, I'm like a pit master. I'm like a grill master. I love to grill. I love to cook. I'm not too much in the hosting too much these days at my old age. I don't really like dealing with humans all like that. I like you guys, but like people in my house and cheering along for some football and all that, it's not my thing. I like hosting my family. Now that's fine. Like I couldn't even tell you who's playing or any of that stuff, you know. But I do have a food list though. I tell you that much. I have a food list. Let's see here. Nothing going on this weekend here. Just we'll watch the halftime show. Maybe I'll turn it off for the halftime show. No, I'll keep it on. I mean, that's the whole point, right? I guess. It was my phone. Sorry. No worries. The Sweet Life said, I just ordered a projector stand. That's great. Also, if you're not part of the elite, or even if you are part of the elite and maybe you're on a monthly, if you upgrade to the VIP, which is annual, then I'm going to send you a free projector the next day. I'm going to send you a free projector, and that offer expires Saturday. The offer expires this Saturday, so take up on it if you're not already, or even if you're not a part of the elite, then you could do it. But even if you're part of the elite and you want to get the annual, you could do that. I'll send you a projector. If you already have a projector, you can send it to a friend to join along. It helps when you have a community and you have more people that join along. It's more cool. And I think that I'll put that also in the community where, have that be one of the first things, like invite a friend. Invite a friend because it's easier and you could be held accountable when you have someone in real life maybe that's with you on it. But also, if not, I also understand it too if you don't want some of these friends to tag along on things and try to rob your energy of it. Maybe they're not. I understand that as well too. Good morning. Good morning, Blessed Star Studios. Yeah, I couldn't tell you who's playing or any of that stuff. I couldn't even tell you who like any of those football players are or any of that stuff. I mean, anytime that I do see the football players now, it's like I feel so old now. They all look like kids to me. I'm like, dang, they look like high schoolers. And you could just see here, like I'm using the 1.5 inch brush right now, and I'm just getting the color through as quick as possible. It doesn't matter what the color is. I'm just going through it as quick as possible. One of the things that I used to do when I kind of started painting, and I would spend so much time doing it, and it was such a bad habit because what happens is you do a paralysis by analysis. Is that I would make a paint move, or I would do something, right, like I would make a decision, and then I would feel the need to always do this. Let me know if you're guilty of it. I would do this, like I would make a paint decision, and then I would step away from it and let me look at it. Let me look if my decision looks right, like from a distance. And then I learned after time, and I think I've also learned this from watching a famous artist who says he doesn't what he does, like when you're working the canvas, even when it's a large canvas or no matter what it is, and you're up on it and you're working the canvas, just work it in front of you. Don't analyze it yet. Just work the colors or work whatever's there. Try not to analyze it, and then you'll have more fun doing it. Like you'll be more connected to it. Like then the choices are more intuitive instead of you standing back all the time to look at if you made the right choice. I'm telling you, it's a game changer. So, like how I'm painting right now, I'm on the painting, but I'm not really analyzing what comes next and what color or any of that stuff or what looks good, because that will come later or whatever. I'm more into just painting, whatever the paint is. A lot of times it just feels good just to lay paint down. So I got the big boy brush out, and I'm just trying to go through color as quick as I can. And I'm not really focused on what how it looks from afar. It's kind of like a cheat code of being blind, or it's kind of like if you go to the movie theaters and you're sitting in the front seat or the front row, and it's super, like it's right up on you. It's on you that you can't even really analyze what it is. Things always look different from afar, but also you're just not doing this whole judging your decisions by stepping back. I'm not stepping back. I'm just painting right now. Like I don't even know what it is. I'm just making sure that I'm filling in the colors and going with it. I'm talking to you. I don't even know what comes next, what goes, whatever. But we are working off the projector as well. So we have our confidence tool there of whatever we're doing. Like as long as the proportions, is what I'm saying. But I don't know as far as colors and all that. So sometimes people is like they love my colors, but I'm like the reason why is because I'm not focused on the colors too much because I'm right up on the painting. Sometimes I'll get really close up on the painting so that way I'm not analyzing until later. That's the fun part for me. The fun part for me is like I'm trying not to see it yet. I'm just working. So like even like this color, what I'm doing now, right? Like I'm just going through it. I'm not really looking yet. I just know it's going to be cool afterwards. But as long as I'm just going with it now, that's the confidence of it. It always shows the confidence later. So I'm working it. And this is how some of the best artists in the world do it. You're in the moment, you're in the rhythm. It's kind of like what we were talking about yesterday, if you missed it, when we were talking about Spartans training. I'm just I'm not focused on what the outcome might be or what's the next play of the Tetris. I'm just in the moment. And then anything else, see, I'm in the moment now because I always feel like later on I could do the other layering or whatever. But I'm telling you, when you work it this way, how I'm working it, it always comes out phenomenal. Let's see here. I have a hard time stepping back. Maria says, I have a hard time stepping back. Good. Yeah, just keep going in the moment. Taurus says, does your family paint too? Yeah, it's in the blood. My family is my family is artistic. It's in the blood. Painter though, no, I think I'm like the only painter of the family, but there's other parts where they're creative. My brother's a phenomenal sketch artist. My brother's a phenomenal sketch artist. So the crazy part is this, and it's a hard pill to swallow. So my brother's a phenomenal sketch artist, right? Where like he went to art school and he knows how to draw exactly what someone looks like through a sketching. But those are technical things, right? But to people who really aren't in the art world, they see the beauty of like where something is the technical in its detail, right? It's kind of like what Picasso said. It took him 17 years of his life to learn how to technically draw and to draw details and to sketch it out and to draw the anatomy and all of that stuff, right? But it took him 40 years of his life or 50 years of his life to learn how to draw like a child, which is, emotions and a step. Like me, I'm not stepping back. I'm just letting whatever go where it goes. Um, I was always creative younger, but when I wanted to actually draw again, or I mean paint, because I was never really a painter. I was more of a I would draw when I was younger in color with crowns and stuff like just like a kid, right? But when I wanted to paint, I didn't want people to be like, "Oh, you're trying to be like your brother." Or you're trying to be artistic, not knowing that I was always into art as a kid, just not in paint. But at the same point, if you're not mature enough in your mind of where you think art is, you're going to try to compare yourself to other forms of art. So there was a point in time in my life where I was thinking that maybe, oh, you're not as good enough as an artist as your brother, or I'm not a good enough because I'm not a sketch artist and I don't do things detailed with the technical side. And that's where we talk about the polar bear hairs, right? Where it's like, for me personally, it's boring. Now, if I wanted to, I could do the technical if I wanted to, if I spent the time. But like one of my brother's drawings, right? It would take him like a week to do. And for me, I think that's torture where I would be sitting at a desk, sketching, erasing, the charcoal, the magnifying glass, this just for one picture. So by the time the picture's done, the picture is beautiful, right? But at the same time, if I'm a collector, why would I spend $1,000 for it when I could just print that out? You can't print out my art because my art is coming from an emotional side of happy, of, of happy mistakes where I don't know what it's going to be, and you're going to get a different colorful palette of it. But if you're younger and you don't have someone who teaches you that your beauty is inside of you because it comes from an authentic different place, then you might not even do art at all. So there was times in my life where maybe years or so where I didn't really go into art because I was so stuck into the mindset where, oh, someone draws better than me, but they do the technical stuff. They do the stuff that I thought was too boring, because really I just thought it was boring. I didn't want to do a technical stuff where it's like, dang, in order for me to be an artist, I have to sit down at a desk and I have to focus for 10, 12 hours on a drawing, and then they'll call me an artist. I didn't want to do that. So I was having that mindset of two things where it's like, artists are starving artists. And then in order to be an artist, you got to sit down at a desk for 20 hours and you have to draw all this paint. You have to like do the polar bear hairs. I didn't want to do the polar bear hairs. I think the polar bear hairs is boring. Now, is that to say that if I really wanted to, I can't sit down and do a polar bear hairs? Yeah, I can, but it's just like what Picasso said. I'd rather do art. Do you ever sell prints of your art? No, because they don't do well. I've tried to. They don't do well. People want originals. And it's just faster for me to do that anyways. Why not it's just unless I even tried to go through a route where it's like I'll print out some quality ones. I'm telling you, I went through all the avenues. I'll print out the quality prints and then I'll embellish them. I'll embellish them by adding more paint to it, a little bit of splatter, and then I'll sign my thing. It still doesn't do well. So here in elementary school and in middle school, right, I was always the best like a kid. I'm drawing. And it was just natural to me because I'm just having fun. But then I stopped doing it in high school because I was seeing that these people, the high schoolers, they went to they're in an adult art class and they're learning like symmetry and the shadows and the sun, and like they're doing everything where it looks like technical, the polar bear hairs. So here I'm thinking, man, I'm not an artist because I can't do that. I mean, I probably could, but it just seems so boring to me because my brain don't work like that. I'd rather get done with the art. I'd rather get on to it. I'd rather show emotion. Like I always was captivated by Basquiat's work or Picasso or certain artists that just found the shortcut of going faster and getting on to the next one and being creative. I mean, sometimes even as an artist, like for me, if I hold a paintbrush and maybe I don't even know what I'm painting, or if I don't have an idea of what it is, it feels good for me to pick up the paintbrush, put paint on the paintbrush, and just put it up against the canvas. Something about that is soothing for me. It's satisfying. Something about it feels good about putting paint on the canvas, even if I don't know what the design is. Now, imagine if I want to do like, I have to be a technical artist and I have to be all this, and I can't go through that feeling of just wanting to mess up a canvas. So like there would be times when I first started painting, I would do these technical kind of paintings, right? Like of a celebrity's face or something like that. And then I hated how she looked because she looked too pretty. And then I want to mess it up. And then when I mess it up, the painting sells more money. The painting would sell more money when I would like do certain things on the face or certain things where I would abstract the face. Because I just couldn't stand, like it would irk my bones to see this pretty. It's like, and then I would call them vanity pieces because I would make them pretty and then I would mess it. Then I would do like a neo-expressionism face on top of it. And I always called them vanity pieces because it's like, you're so vain. You probably think this painting is about you, right? Where it's like, I'm talking about the song. And the idea is that it is the idea of beauty behind it, where you have to let go and just mess it up and be free on it. You have to be even confident and bold enough to take a painting that's something beautiful that somebody else, like for me, if I had the polar bear hair painting, that would drive me crazy. Instead, what I would do is on top of that, I would show people that I'm bold enough and confident to mess it up and to do a new neo-expressionism on top of that painting. Because then I would be like, it's vanity. Like, I don't want people to get caught up into the beauty of it. But it took me years to get to that point because I didn't have anybody teaching me that. Instead, we're taught this whole traditional way of art where it's, you know, sometimes it's technicality. And that's the thing that sucks, because a lot of people are still caught up into that mindset too, though. Like, especially online. Like, I see so many people who's caught up in the mindset. Sometimes I see comments on there. Oh, your art is like, how can you judge art? You're being a weirdo if you're trying to judge art. You can't judge art. There is no right or wrong when it comes to art. The only one who's wrong is you, and you're exposing yourself. You're exposing yourself, and you can't even help it. You're exposing yourself. You're exposing yourself for being a weirdo by trying to categorize what's art. So sometimes I see comments or whatever. It's rare, but I mean, you got to have judgmental people or haters, whatever, or maybe they're even fans. They'll be like, "That's not art. Actually, it's more of a placeholder, or it's more of a wall decor. Like, that's not art. You need to do this. You need to do that." Like, could you imagine living your life like that? So a lot of times people have this mindset when they're like that, because they're thinking of technicalities, even if it's not the technicalities of a polar bear hair, or even if it's not the technicalities of like sketch paintings or sketch drawings where it's so technical like that. They're still thinking of technicalities of where you have to blend your colors into this perfect theory from the warm to the red. Like, they're still thinking of technicalities of even how paint works, you know? Well, actually, the history of the black, you need to make sure that the black is mixed next to this color, because the history of it shows that, like, you know, those are still technicalities. And there is no right or wrong. Like I always say, I could paint the banana on the wall and I'm still right. It's still art. And like, this is the thing, instead of someone telling us that our work is not art or it's not whatever, why don't you tell that to the customer who's buying it? Like, what are you telling me for? Tell that to the customer who's buying it, because someone is buying it, and someone is taking their hard-earned cash to buy our work. Like, someone went to work and they spent the time at their job, and that's what they got paid for, was their time. And then with their time, they decided to buy our artwork. So what are you telling me for that my art isn't whatever? Why don't you say that to the collector who's buying it? Because you know you wouldn't say it to the collector. You wouldn't say it to the collector because you're saying it to be negative. And you're being negative because probably you don't have a stance of art yourself. You're not putting any good out into the world. You don't have a stance of art. You don't have anything of what you're putting out there. Nobody knows who you are. So instead, you lash out. You lash out to the person who is creating, because we're all creators. God put us here to create. You were meant to create. And you're mad that you're not creating. You're being sloth, which is a sin. And you're lashing out at the creators instead of the people who actually are getting value from it. Lash out at them. You won't do it. Doesn't make sense. Let's see here. Maria says, I wish I knew all this before. So much more energy when younger. Now, I know what you mean, Maria. I feel the same way, you know. That's the thing about time. Like, we're all not getting any younger, and I wish I knew all of these things too. So anytime when I make these videos, I always say that I'm not talking, a lot of these things that I'm saying, I'm not really saying it to you particularly, but I'm saying it to a younger version of myself. I'm saying it to myself in the past, but I'm also saying it to a future me that's always going to look back at this time of me and have these words to myself. Let's see. I came across your videos a few days ago. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. I appreciate you being here, Reaper. Let's see here. Jovi says, hi there, although I'm working my other job. She said, you would have hated art school. Yeah, I know I would have hated art school. That's why I didn't do it. Reaper says it is so hard. Is it so hard to respect others? I don't understand why people feel this need to attack. Nobody is obligated to watch the art that doesn't interest them exactly, and they know it too. That's the funny part of it. You don't have to. No one's paying you to come here or to watch the stuff. You're just doing it to be negative because you're not creating or whatever else is going on. They say they're saying it to gatekeep you. Could be. Discerning light. AZ lady said, do you find Cubist styles sell well? What about other abstract styles? Yeah, they do well. It just depends on the collector, really. Discerning light says it's a different world from when we were younger. It sure is. Good morning, Zinjin. Hope you're good. All right, let's go into this. Let me dry this off a little bit, and then we're pretty much done. But that was a side topic right there because someone asked me about if my family was artists. But today's topic, or what we're talking about, is how to scale your business, right? Like that's the fun part, scaling your business. I couldn't wait to be in a position to scale my business. I couldn't wait to be in a position to scale anything. It didn't matter what it was. I just wanted a product that I could offer to people, something that I'm somewhat good at, because my whole life is kind of like I had the feeling, and I'm pretty sure most of y'all have this feeling as well too. That's why you're here, where it's like you have that feeling where you're a jack of all trades, but a master at none. And that was me. It's like I feel like I had all these talents, and I was like, I know all these things, and there's so many things that I could offer the world of my skill sets, but I just didn't know what it was or what to hone in on. I just knew that I was tired of corporate America, but at the same time, when I was so tired of corporate America, I would go home or I would have these drives when I'm driving back home, and I'm talking to myself, or I'm on the phone talking to one of my friends, and I'm telling them how much I dislike, well, no, not dislike, how much I hated corporate America, or I hated the day that I was having. And I would always, and then it was like, I'm one of those people though. What became disgusting is I'm becoming one of those people that where it's like, I'm always talking about a problem, but I don't have a solution. We all know people like that. Those are the worst type of people. And I didn't want to be like that, where it's like, I'm always complaining about a problem, but I'm not thinking about certain solutions or different avenues. I'm not working my way out of it. And I knew that I wanted to do art, but I was still in the mindset where that's for broke people, like you're a starving artist. And how embarrassing would it be to tell people I'm an artist? Because then people are going to look at you like, ugh, like what? What are you talking about? Like, that means you broke. Especially here in LA, where everything is so superficial. And if you go somewhere and people are like, so what do you do for a living? I'm an artist. I'm a painter. They'll smile and say, hey, your artwork is cute. Oh, that's nice. But in their mind, it's like, so you don't have a real job. You're broke. And I said to myself, to God, I was like, I mean, at this time I was just doing art because it felt good to have that feeling of being creative and putting paint on a canvas and just doing something different. I don't know. I didn't have an idea. There was no way, and I didn't have an idea that I was ever going to make like money from it. Because at this time, this is even pre-gallery. So, the gallery days is when I'm still broke. So this is like far off from eBay. But I would always pray that I wanted something that I could scale. But here I'm still working corporate America and I'm painting at home. But I'm painting at home more like to feed my ego and to feed the ego of, not feed my ego, but like it felt good as a hobby. It was more of a hobby, but also to feed to feed Instagram. So Instagram was my job, even though I didn't make a dime off of Instagram, right? It's not like you're getting any kind of clicks, no advertisement. You don't have no type of community there. You don't have people, like there was nothing there. There was people there who I built up a following and people who liked the artwork, but there was no, those people were broke too. They weren't buying anything. And I was doing it, but then after a while, I became like, I started to become good at it because naturally it just like goes back to me being a child again. And I was so worried about, I was so worried about dropping my first art piece online, like showing my thing. Cause like I told you, people at this point, they knew that my brother was an artist. He's a great artist. And I didn't want to be looked at where it's like, oh, you're only trying to do art because your brother does art kind of thing. And then like maybe people try to do a comparison. So I was like worried about that. Like I said, when you're early in the art thing, you think people are checking for you think more about other people than they actually think about you in reality. But your mind plays tricks on you about all these different things. And I just wanted something to scale. So I kept doing it. And then I became kind of like Instagram famous when it was the golden time of art, when it was like Instagram art. There was a time where it was like Instagram art, where it was the golden time. It was like 2017, 2018. These were the golden times of Instagram art. And I was like becoming him. And then I was still working these corporate jobs and I was broke, and it was so depressing because here I was my artwork would be in these restaurants or like record labels, but yet it just wasn't pulling in what it should have been pulling in. Now all of my art friends, all of us, we would be labeling our artwork where it was thousands of dollars, but people weren't paying for it. And if they were, then you would probably be lucky if you got one sale a month kind of situation. And that's if you're doing good. Then right right before COVID hit, I had a solo exhibition at one of my galleries. And I put so much time and money into it, and I didn't sell anything from the show. I put so much money and time into it, advertisement, Facebook ads, the gallery, valet parking, the food, flying in people, transportation of the art, like all of it. And it was just devastating. But out of it, in situations like that, you gotta make the best out of those situations. So the best out of the situation that I could do is at least that I was like, all right, I'm gonna make sure that I at least get advertisement off of it. So I make sure I made a lot of videos and you get pictures and things like that, just so in the future you can show that you've done these things. And then Fifi hit, which is COVID. And then everybody was locked in. So when they're locked in at this time, I was like, I was already on eBay, but I kind of half stepped it because I was like, all right, maybe that's not working, because I didn't have a chance to step back. Like the great thing that I remember telling people at the time, that the best thing about COVID was that it gives you a chance to hustle. I said anybody who's not hustling during COVID and not figuring out a way, then you're just not a hustler. Like you're waiting around for the job to call you back. You're waiting around for you to go back to the office. You're waiting around for whatever. But during COVID, the people who were really making the money, because there was also a generational wealth transfer at that time. That's when I got rich. Is there was people who were hustling, like people who were actually getting e-commerce and working it online. So during that time, I had the chance to step back because the world kind of froze, and I had a chance to get online and then really stick to eBay because I had nothing else to do. Like really commit to it. There's no other time I would have done it. I wouldn't commit to it. There's no way I could have. Like you're so blessed because we have the community now, and I help so many people see through the darkness because the darkness is always at the beginning and you can't see through it and you won't believe in it. Like if you was by yourself in it, it'd be probably harder for you to do it. But we have a community, but you also have me where I walk you through the darkness because without it, it's almost impossible. So I was in the darkness for a while, it was like it's like that Indiana Jones movie, right? Where the third one or whatever with Sean Connery. It's kind of like the walk of faith where it's like you don't see the bridge thing, but you got to just step on it. Like you got to step on it with both feet. And I did that, but all the way, and I was doing it all the way for like a few months, and then it hit. And I was like, okay, I see how the game is played. It's about the consistency and showing up. Then I was like, all right, this is cool. I could do something with it. Then it hit me like when I was getting my first dollars, I knew that I had something that I could scale. I never forget where I was at. I think I was at Costco. But it hit me, boom, light bulb. I was like, wow, I prayed for this for so many years. I hated corporate America. And I finally have an opportunity where I have something that I can scale. Like, it doesn't matter how low the sale was or whatever. I could do multiple of those. I could do so many. Like I'm coming from a situation where I just wanted, where nobody was buying my art, even though I did everything of the gallery way, the traditional way, the marketing way, the courses, the newsletters, the art fairs, the art shows, the exhibits. I was doing even the networking because I'm in LA, so I was doing the network parties. I got connections. And it doesn't hit like that. And everybody who was part of these things as well too, who other artists, even though I'm broke, I'm doing better than all these other artists are doing, and they're always looking to me for advice. So basically, I was even doing coaching even before I was doing coaching. And when it hit for me that I could scale, then I took it. And what I did by scaling is I put a system in place of how many I was going to do. I'm like, if I make at least this amount of money, then how much can I make if I do this? Like I said, nobody pays you like you pay yourself. And it's always better to get $20 from somebody than it is for somebody to pay me $200,000 because at least I can scale the $20 and it's under my control. So another thing that I did with my collectors to really scale business is I treat every customer like they purchased $100,000 from me, because you never know when that person comes back. Like all sale is the same sale. I'm not going to treat you any different if something was a low sale compared to if it's, a high gallery one. Because my largest sales have been from people who only purchased something small from me, and then they come back and then they purchase something larger. And I'm talking about like the next week, the next month. That's also customer service. So I was like, okay, what I'm also going to do to scale would also hit me like a light bulb is like as soon I started dabbling around with paper. I don't know what made me get into paper, but I was dabbling around with paper and I was doing some of my like drawings on there because I would have a whole bunch of drawings like sketches that I would do, and they were like neo-expressionism sketchings, rough stuff, kind of Basquiat style and like symbols, letters, different things, and I would have like geopolitical messages in there, kind of stuff, right? And I would do a bunch of them, and then I'd put it up on eBay, and then people were buying them for $100. People were buying them, and I was surprised, and I was like, "Whoa, light bulb, boom!" I could scale my business by not just having canvases either, because at the time I was also thinking that I had to fill my whole eBay store up with just canvas work. And after a while, that kind of fills up your inventory. Especially at the time, I was like in a 1 bedroom apartment and working off the kitchen table. I didn't have any space. I didn't even have no cabinet. I wasn't even professional where I had cabinets back then. I was like lining them up and stacking them up against the wall. But then the paper idea came, and when I seen that people were buying those, but also what I found out too is through the algorithm, just by me committing to those as well, it feeds as another item number instead of me having to use the canvas always for an item number. I'm done with this painting. It's just that when I do cubism paintings like this, I have so much fun layering them, and I always have so much fun. But I'm done with this painting. I'm done with it. So then I started working on a lot of paper pieces so I could put it into the buy it now store, and then they could feed each other off of the auctions. Because I was still smart enough at this time not to put paper pieces into an auction. I mean, people want the canvases. So what I would always do too, if I was ever away somewhere, like maybe if I was on vacation or maybe if I even went to the park, because it's always good to get outside the house, right? I would take a sketch pad with me. Look at this painting. Isn't this beautiful? Look at that, huh? There we go, right there. Look, if I can do it, you can do it, right? We did this together. Beautiful, beautiful painting. Um, I would take a sketch pad with me to the park. To Like I would do that a lot. I would draw a lot. There was a point in my life where I drew more on paper than I painted. I painted a lot for the auction, but there was a point in my time of my life where I drew and I did a lot more paperwork than the canvas because I was feeding the algorithm, but also I was putting out so many sketches and paintings. Like I had so many sketches and I had so many paper pieces that I was doing the volume game. Me in my mind at then, I was really thinking like a production, like a business in volume. So when I'm talking about that, like 17,000 paintings, right? We're not talking about, 17,000 canvases that you worked off of a projector. No, a lot of them sales is based off of the paintings that were on paper or drawings that was on paper as well. So it's a mixture, but it doesn't matter because it's still art. Like, it's still a sale. It's still art. And that was a big part of me scaling my business is the paper. I was able to scale my canvas work by scaling the paper work. I kid you not. This is what I used to do. When I was in when I was in when I first got my studio in Tampa, I would spend my day working on the canvases for the auction. I list them same day. Back then, I wasn't doing a day prior where it was like I was at advanced, where I was like, I'm listing them for the next day. I would list them the same day because I wanted it to be out there. I wanted to be accountable for my time. So I would list it the same day. And on the East Coast, in Florida time, that's 10 p.m. On our time, it's 7 p.m., right? Pacific. So I would list it by 10 p.m. for the auction. Then after I'm done listing them, I would go back to the studio, and then I would sit there and I would paint. I would do a rough painting on a bunch of papers. So I would line up 12 by 9s, 10 by 8s. I would line them up on the table, and I would take my rubber where's it at? Is it here? I would take my rubber brush, right? And I would just scrape paint or whatever leftover paint that I have from the palette, and I would scrape it on the paper, like just real quick. Scrape it down so that way it's just a color blotch there. I put them on a drying rack because my drying rack is in Florida, and I have them dry out. It doesn't take long because it's paper. Then I'd get the paper and I do a quick drawing on there of a woman's face, of something maybe even similar to this or what we're doing right now. I would freehand them. You don't need a projector for that. I would freehand it because it doesn't matter. Or I would put a flower on there. I would freehand a flower because it doesn't matter. I would do it real quick. And then I take pictures of it, and then we put it into our app to clean it up and to make it look presentable, right? If you're already part of the elite community, then you know what apps I'm talking about and how to do it. And I would do that. I swear to you, I would do that. And that night, I wouldn't go to sleep until I did 100 of them. And I mean, because it really didn't take me that long. So I would do like 50 to 100 of them. And then I would upload them into the algorithm because I needed to boost the algorithm. I needed to scale is what we're talking about. All right, let's see here. Let's see here what we got in the comments. Reaper says, big deal. The art world is a bag of cats on fire. Exactly. They don't have an ounce of authority whatsoever. Nope. Joby says, in the art world, we used to say, do what you want to start at the McDonald's of art sales, or find real collectors who pay and worth their value, like paying thousands for one piece. Joby says, it's like I would get no respect if my teachers or other people in galleries I showed up know what I'm doing. Yeah, well, whatever. And usually what I say to them is that they're broke, though. You can't tell me anything. You're broke. That's why in one of my videos that I had last week where it's like, I don't take advice from broke people. I stopped doing that. Let's see here. Verdant Garden says, your experiences with zeroing out the rules for artists proves that the art world is rigged game, set up like a club that they want you to beg to be allowed in. Yeah, that's how it works. It's a big club and you're not in it. And here I'm throwing sketching doodles away. Nope, don't throw them away. Discerning Light says, yep, they're gatekeepers, many of them in different fields. Never throw away. Let's see here. Maria says, so put paper in bin. Do you consider good watercolor paper the same? Go directly to bin? Yep. AZ Lady said, I worked at a Miami Beach hotel. Art Basel was the big annual art to do. The art world is only one big hustle. I did Basel as well too, and it ain't nothing but a big party where people are just there doing drugs and partying, but they're not buying art. A lot of those people are broke. I don't have time for it. That's a big nothing. And I mean, then I went to Art Basel when it was actually about something. Like it's not about nothing now. And then the thing is Instagram saturated the art market of people who everybody's an artist, everybody's an artist. I mean, we all artists, we're all creators, right? I always say that, but in how they want to go about it though, everybody's an artist of they want to be an influencer artist per se. Us, how I teach us is to stop wasting time and to make money. And a lot of times when it comes to life, just like anything else, making money, a lot of times it's not so glamorous and Instagrammy and cute. It's just money. I mean, if you want to go that route and if you think there's still some glamour for you, I never stop anybody from doing that. You have to bump your head a few times. I mean, we're human. That's usually how humans work. Even in my coaching program, I even say that, I say that at times too, right? Where it's like, I've been doing this for a long time. You don't have to listen to me. You could bump your head and do it this way. I'm just giving you, I'll give you alternatives. I'll give you alternatives to do it your way. You could do that, but at least you know how to find your way back home. Because I understand as humans, sometimes you have to touch that furnace to know that it's hot. I understand it. Like, trust me, if I was someone, only reason I'm able to talk like this is because I lived through it. But if I didn't live through it, maybe my ego wouldn't be ready to make money like how we're making money and go through the process. And the only way that I was able to do that is because I've already went through that. My ego was already out of it, and I put myself into the game of where to make the money. Some people aren't ready for that. If you're not ready for that, especially younger people really aren't prepared for that. Most younger people are like, they're still thinking that I'm going to be Instagram, TikTok famous in a gallery and everyone's going to love me. And, I'm not one to judge of what their dream is or whatever. I'm just always like, well, when reality comes back in, I'll be here for you. But that's how I scaled. Now, also what I did to scale, to really scale, you have to bet on yourself. You have to believe in yourself. And what do I mean by that? You have to buy a pallet, You have to be willing to buy a pallet. Well, what do you mean, Corbellic? What I mean is that you have to buy a pallet of canvases. Are you that committed? Are you that committed? If once you buy a pallet of canvases and they come in and it's sitting on a pallet, you have to get the work. But also, it's such a great feeling psychologically because now you're able to paint whatever the hell you want. You could experiment and do whatever you want because it doesn't matter anyways, because you're getting rid of the volume so fast. You got canvases that's on a pallet. It's only when you start buying, like when you buy, I don't buy my canvases from Michael's inside the store. I don't go inside the retail and buy it that way. Why? Because I'm setting myself up with a psychological trap where they don't have enough canvases for me. And I'm only going to want to paint Mona Lisas. You got to bet on yourself. I know some people didn't like the analogy where it's kind of like where it's like they're the cartel, where it's Michael's is the cartel, and but that's how I look at the game, where it's like you got to get rid of the bricks fast. I get the palette of canvases from Michael's. If you're not already a part of the elite community where we have all of these things broken down, we have the supply list, we have how to order it, we have when to order it, we have where you could copy and paste, how you to set your account up properly. We have the templates of how to properly do the description in your account. There is no guessing game. I have everything for you in the community. So just click the link. Click the link. It's in the chat. It's pinned to the top, and you can join and you can get everything started. There's no guessing game, but also it's not a homework thing where you're by yourself. Some of these courses you just, oh, do this and do that, and you're by yourself, and then it's over with. No, you have a full community that's there as well too, that's already gone through the process, that's already succeeded in doing these things, so they can help you with any of your questions as well. And you're not alone in it. But also, if you're not part of the elite, you could join the elite right now on the annual VIP, and then I'll send you out a free projector. I'll send it out tomorrow. And just send me your address. Just send me a message once you join that you joined the VIP, and I'll send you a free projector, because that's how much I believe in you. That's how much I know my program saves lives. Let's see here. Tulio says, did you continue to work in a job? Like, how long did it take you? It took me a year. It took me a year. But I had to also believe in it, and I had to work full time, kind of thing. You know, I had to really, even though I was working a full-time job, I still had to treat eBay like a full-time job. The problem is, you know, I always say this when it comes to life, and this is one of the things that I've learned about eBay or just a life in general, but you can't serve two masters. A lot of times we try to so bad. A lot of times we think that we're overly smart, we're overly intelligent, we can outwit the system, we can do two things at once. You can't. You can't serve two masters. You have to commit either way. And one of the things is going to make you commit. Anytime that I ever tried to do art sales before, anytime that I was trying to do like online and I was trying to do the transition from the gallery to either Etsy or eBay, and it wasn't, it's not that it wasn't working. I was getting very, very minimum sales, but it wasn't anything to quit my job or anything. Like I'm seeing, like you would see these videos, I would see these videos online about people who would seem like they're making things work for them on Etsy. And I'm like, maybe I could do that or whatever. And then I try, or eBay, and then I try a little, and then it's like, it's not really clicking like that for me. I would be like, it's not clicking like that for me. And then when it clicked like that for me, it's because I scaled and I believed in myself. I ordered the pallet and I locked in. I had to treat it like a full-time job. The only way that eBay worked for me is like I had to treat it like a full-time job, and I was able to live off of it. But I can't really imagine, living off of it if I'm part-time. Now, what I do say is that you could be part-time and do eBay, and you can make extra money if you want to. You can make an extra, $500, $1,000, $2,000. It's up to you. You could do that part-time. You could easily do that part-time where you could just pay off your mortgage off of it. You could pay your car bill, your electric bill. You could do those things easy. Those are easy. But if you really want the funds to come in to scale it, you got to believe in yourself. Yeah, like Dave says, you got to double up. That's what we used to say, right? You got to double up. You have to double up. Yeah, see, Dave, you know what I'm talking about. That's what I think of. Like, I mean, I sell paintings here, and I come from the world of corporate finance. I've never sold drugs, but I come from the world of procurement, and these are the same type of mindsets of what on shows and movies that like Narcos and Pablo. These are the mindset that the cartels think of. They're procurement. This is what they do. You have to double up. You have to believe in yourself. You have to get rid of the product. Like I said, I play the imagination game in my mind. Like Michaels is the cartel. Hobby Lobby is the other cartel. If my numbers is bad, they're not gonna care about my story. They're gonna ask where's their no the big cartel is eBay. You know, they're not gonna care about my story if my numbers are down. I gotta double up. I gotta believe in myself. I gotta get rid of the product. And the only way that I can get rid of the product is if I see it over there just sitting there. It's sitting there. What am I gonna do? It's reminding me that it's there. So then it's like I need to get rid of it so I can get onto the next package is what I'm thinking to myself. I want to get onto the next package. I can't get onto the next pack. Like I feel like this. All right, so the cartel, right? Hobby Lobby or Michaels, I feel like they might call me and be like, they're not calling me. Why would they care? But I would feel like if they're the cartel, they'd be like, hey, we want to send you out the next pallet. Did you get rid of the last one already? No, what happened was eBay is slow this month and this week. They be like, I don't care about any of that stuff. What are you talking about? We're gonna send some people to take you out unless you get rid of that pallet. What are you talking about? You need to dish that out somehow. Then fine. If I know that, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die getting rid of that pallet, or I'm gonna die from Hobby Lobby, Michaels, the cartel calling me up. I'm gonna get rid of that. I'm gonna get rid of that. I'm gonna do what I gotta do to get rid of that pallet that's sitting right there. I beg to be in the game. This is what I said I wanted, right? So when I'm thinking of scaling up, I'm thinking of like in terms like this. It's life or death because it is life or death. No one is coming to save you but you. No one, bills are due every day. Because the moment that you're slacking and you're resting on your laurels, you're going to have a situation where your car breaks down or a bill comes or something happens and you don't have the money for it. And then what? Bills are due every single day. I need to scale up. I need to believe in it. I'm going to die getting rid of that pallet that's sitting there. I'm going to put whatever I have to do. That way, eBay's numbers or whatever, by that time, they're going to have to recognize that I'm a boss in here. I'm a boss. By that time, they're gonna when I get rid of that pallet, they have no choice but to recognize Corbellic's a boss, and my numbers are gonna hit regardless. Even if they don't hit and I get rid of that pallet, and they all sell for the minimum of whatever, I'm still gonna make my profit, and I'm still gonna be able to hit up Michael's next week or 2 weeks, whatever. And I say I need another pallet. Then Michael's like, all right, you are in the game. You are in the game. You're not just sitting around waiting for opportunities to happen. You asked to be in this. Let's see here. Joby says, how much is the VIP? It's $333 for the year, but you get 5 months free compared to if you was paying a monthly membership, and I'll send you out the free projector. So you get 5 months free on that. Let's see here. Maria says, setup may take a little bit of more time, but definitely worth getting through that tough part. Keep going, and when you get tired, distracted, keep going. I'm talking to myself. Yeah, keep going. Reaper says, do you think it's possible to have a healthy business model, painting time, consuming things for more money on eBay? Yeah, I built it for myself. And I mean, we talk about these times as well too. So all these times are broken down of what it really goes into whatever your work schedule is and whatever your life schedule is, but you can have it healthy because you have to. Let's see here. Sharon says, do you have a wet palette? Yep, I have a wet palette. This is the wet palette right here, this white paper. Laugh out loud, Hobby Lobby enforcers. Exactly, the Hobby Lobby enforcers, right? Verdant Garden says, have to get a stay wet palette to use acrylics. Yep. So I don't have to think about spraying the paints with water. I still spray them with water from time to time. Is 16 by 20 a good basic size to order? Discerning light. No, the basic size is inside the supply list. It's in the supply list, so go there. I'm not going to break it down all right now. but it's in there, discerning light. But no, I wouldn't do that for a basic size of 16 by 20. If you're not ready for a 16 by 20 and you don't have the infrastructure for it, you could go broke. Let's see here. All right, let's do this. Let's get back to it. Then once I scaled up and I believed in myself and I was like, all right, this is what I asked for, then the money just started flowing because they have no choice but to recognize. I'm telling you, it's just like anything in life. If you feel like the money is slow, or if you feel like something's not clicking, it's because you're not working hard enough and you don't believe in yourself. You don't believe in it yet. You don't believe in it. If you don't believe in it, then it's not going to happen. Why would it happen? You're not mentally ready for that opportunity. I always give the analogy, it's just like someone praying to God for a lottery ticket, and God's not going to give you that because you're not mentally at that mindset. There's people who get it and then they get worse off because they're mentally not ready. They mess the whole money up. They mess the whole bag up. Some people pray for opportunities, but they're mentally not ready for it. They're mentally not even prepared for it. They don't believe in it. The only way that you're going to make the bag is that you mentally have to believe in it. You have to bet on yourself. That's how you scale. You have to bet on yourself. It's life or death. If not, if you feel like that's why I love, what is it, the conquistadors? I hope I said that right. Conquistadors. They said burn the ships. It's life or death. There is no going back. Because then with that mindset, you're going to succeed. You have no choice but to succeed. But if you feel like you have a ship to always go back into, trust me, I've been there. Like I said, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to my prior self. And I probably would have still been there. I probably would have still like not been successful, complaining about numbers, complaining about how come things aren't working, whatever. It's because I never bet on myself. I didn't believe in myself. I didn't go all the way. Only way to be successful in anything in life is to go all the way. And then you have to be delusional. The people who go all the way are the ones who they say is crazy at first, because you have to be crazy where you're believing in yourself. There is no going back. Once I had in that mindset and I scaled up, then the money flows. It has to. It has no choice. It's like, duh. I'm not even questioning it at that point. Duh. Of course it is. I've never met anybody who done 1,000 push-ups and they didn't get in shape. Duh. Maria says, I want VIP. Do I go to my account to find where to pay? If you're already elite, then what you can do is in the elite community, it's pinned to the top. It's pinned to the top where it has in there free projector. So you could just click on that, and then there's a link in there where it's going to take you to how to upgrade your plan. Or you could just go to the top right where your profile name is at, and you can go to billing and you can upgrade your plan. It's also going to prorate you. So it's not going to charge you more. So if you already paid for the month, it will automatically prorate you and take it out that 47. So you'll be fine there. But as soon as you do upgrade to the elite, just let me know. Send me a message with your address and I'll send you out the projector. That's the only way. That's the only way. And I pray to God, and I just feel like it's so crazy, like as unfortunate the situation was with COVID or whatever. I feel like that was God sending me a time and message. Because if it wasn't for that, I don't think that I ever would have had an excuse to believe in myself to go all the way. I think I would have kept making excuses. I know I would have. And then that was the only time where God slowed it down for me so I could do it. Because if not, I would have still been working in corporate America. I had to show up to the office. But then when I had the chance to just be like, it's now or never, eventually they're going to say that you have to come back to the office or something. So it's now or never. What do you have to lose? And then it taught me a lot about life, because once I started having that mindset, it worked like that for everything. So that's how I was even able to scale having other businesses. I was able to have other businesses because of eBay put me in position. I was able to invest for the first time in my life and actually have extra additional income because of eBay put me in that position, only because I believed in myself and I scaled. Scaling is about scaling your mindset and believing in yourself. It has to start there first. Let me dry this off. That's anything that you want to do with your life, though. That's anything. If you really say you want it and you want the opportunity for it, then believe it. Go all the way. You have to. There is no half-ass in any of it. You can't. If you say you want the opportunity, so it's just like the cartel. Could you imagine, like, when I think of the movies like Scarface or something, or one of those, I don't know, one of those movies. You Tom Cruise in that movie where he's like working for Pablo or something and flying the planes of the Columbia something. Could you imagine? There's so many people during that time who were asking the cartel for the opportunity to be in the game and just work with them. And then they're like, okay, you get this chance, you get this one chance. And then they give you the chance, they give you a pallet, and then you're just sitting around on the pallet, you're making excuses like, I don't know what's going on. People just aren't doing drugs no more. They're like, we ain't trying to hear none of that. You're about to die. What are you talking about? You asked for this opportunity. So it's like, some people are like, are you asking for the opportunity, but you still want to keep your job, or not, you want to keep your job, but you still want to keep things in your mind of where you're comfortable? Like, you still want to have the opportunity, but you also want to be able to sit on the couch for 4 or 5 hours and watch Netflix? You can't. You can't. You're just going to be harder on yourself. Work is work. All right, I think we're good. I think we're good. And I was already to the point where it's like, I've already worked so many corporate jobs, and I was like, man, I don't have nothing to lose. Like, at this point, I'll die figuring out how to get these pallets off. I don't care how ugly they are. You mean to tell me the only enemy in this situation is my ego and my mind? What? How crazy is that? I'm so worried about my ego and my mind that I can't just pump out the work. Why? How crazy is that? Talk about mental issues. Then you have some mental blocks that you have to get around. But then after you scale the business, right? Um, you have to scale the space. Once the money starts coming in, once the money starts coming in, I was messing up at first, and I was I was I was paying Corbellic. First thing you always have to do, right, is always pay yourself first. So the first thing, the smart thing to do, what I told you, is that Corbellic Studio pays me. I don't pay myself from the money that Corbellic Studio gets. Like, even to this day, I'll do my books the end of the week, and there's different forms of income coming from different businesses, Corbellic Studios. But yet, Corbellic, me, I always get the same salary. I pay myself a minimum survivable salary, which will always be the same. That way I get outside of my ego and I can still perform on the scale. Just like any big business does, a CEO gets paid a salary. He doesn't get paid whatever the business is. That's how businesses work. That way you're able to scale the business. Anytime they say, oh, Microsoft is worth this amount of money, it's not that the CEO, or when it was Bill Gates or whoever, they're getting that salary, or they're taking home all that cash. It doesn't work like that unless you're a dumb, greedy business who's not thinking about the future of your umbrella. That's how you scale. You scale by treating yourself like a business. How do businesses operate? Businesses operate because they don't pay themselves off of the profit and go straight to it. You give yourself a salary. The world's richest man, Elon Musk, he gets a salary. He has to go to his shareholders and he gets a salary. It's not what the value of the company is worth. So it's like, I could say Corbellic Studios, it's a multi-million-dollar corporation. Sure. Corbellic, though, he broke. Corbellic broke. All right. Corbellic is broke. Now, Corbellic Studios, that's different. But Corbellic in poverty. Corbellic need help. Corbellic needs super chats. Corbellic Industries, though, is tight-handed. Maria says, do you ever plan to do some Q&As during the week in the community? Just wondering. Yeah, we do Q&As every Sunday. Every Sundays we have Q&As. They're always recorded, and then they're always recorded in the vault. So I have a Q&A vault that's in there that you can watch all of the previous months, the previous week. We have it every week, every Sunday at the same time at 9 a.m. Pacific time. So just join us. Look, click the link. Join us in there. Get started. I logged into my account but can't find the supply list. Huh. If you log into your account on the Elite, go to the very top on the search bar, just go to supply list. And the supply list is one of our basic courses that's in there. What do you mean you can't find the supply list? That's like the most And then if you log into the account, it even shows you on the supply list of where to go with the on our 14-day sales orientation. So if you go through the 14-day sales orientation and you're actually doing day by day, it's going to show you, okay, day 3 or 4, here's your supply list, or it's going to go through that as well. So let me know. Oh, I guess I am not elite, and you're the elite. If you're not in the elite, then click the link. It's pinned to the top right now in the chats. You can see it where I pinned it to the top. You can click there and you can join. And like I said, right now, if you join the VIP as well, then I'll send you out a free projector. I'll send it to you the next day. You'll have it by this weekend. Maria says, I mean Monday through Friday to do a Q&A. Oh, that's too much Q&A right there. That's too much hand holding. I can't do that. I have so many different things that I'm doing. I wouldn't be able to do that. And it wouldn't be beneficial for anybody either, because then it would just really be based off of the same questions and the same things that you can find out in the community. Or you could just, you could be resourceful. Everything is an ecosystem in there where we have so many people in the community where they've already asked the question or I've gone through it, but we have it once a week on Sunday. But yeah, to do it every day, like that would be too much hand holding. What would you need every day a Q&A for? Let's see here. Sharon says, right now I'm just reinvesting on my eBay business. I have to make it grow. Yep, that's the snowball effect. All right. That's the snowball effect of the business. You have to make it grow. And then when it grows, it just keeps growing. I'm telling you, like, okay, this is coming from someone in the finance world, but also from eBay. When it comes to scaling your business and the sales getting easier, there's a whole frequency behind this. And I'm going to give you a cheat code. And I talked about this before, but I need to probably stress it with every video, or most of them. The cheat code is this. You can start scaling your business. I first told you the first one, treat yourself like a corporation or LLC. You don't have to have an LLC to do eBay, right? You don't need to worry about that. You don't need to do it. But I'm just saying, treat yourself like that. So that way you can separate yourself from the brand. Then the first important thing to do is when you pay yourself a small salary, whatever it is, you live off of that. It doesn't matter. Start very small. Even if the company has to pay you $100 a week, $200 a week, figure it out. You'll figure it out from there. You'll figure out how to survive or whatever, figure it out from there what the company's paying you from eBay. Then the other important thing is when you pay yourself, start putting money to the side on a company savings, all right? Call this the company savings that you're not going to touch. This isn't the company expenses that you're going to use for canvases and paint. This is the company savings. Get to a point where the company savings has at least $1,000 there, and I promise you, your energy is going to start flowing. The money's going to flow to you. It's very hard. That's why they say that the broke stay broke and the rich get richer, is because it's a frequency, abundance, mindset, but also there's an energy of money. Once you have money that's saved somewhere and it's at least $1,000, then you'll have more money that comes to you and it flows that way. It flows to you because the money's there. But when you're in it wears on you. It's inside your soul when you're in a place of scarcity and you don't have the money, or there's not even a backup or a backup of a backup, then somehow the energy flows in it. I can't explain it. I don't know. All right. Just like gravity, just like we know that there's energy when it comes to, like, when you plug your computer in, right? We know electricity, you can't see it, but it's there. The energy is there. Have at least $1,000 saved up into your business fund, just sitting there. At least it's just there. Just call it your energy money, all right? You're never going to touch it. The reason you're not going to touch it is because that's the money that's going to bring more money to you. All right. These are secrets that I'm really dropping on you that they teach in higher echelons. This is like secret society stuff I'm teaching you. I'm being dead serious. Put money to the side just that way. It's not a savings. It's just so more money could come to you. Money doesn't come to you when you're broke. Put at least $1,000. $1,000 will start there. That's why they always say $100,000 is the hardest to get. But as soon as you make $100,000, it's easy for you to make $1 million. Every business person will tell you, every millionaire will tell you that the hardest thing to get is $100,000. But once you make $100,000, you'll be able to make $1 million. The energy is there. So the first thing, if you want to make that $100,000, just make sure that you put away and you have that $1,000 there. That $1,000 is your good luck. It's not for savings. All right, let's see here. Did you set up an LLC or an S Corp? Yeah, I did, but years later. I didn't do it in the aspect for eBay. I didn't do it for eBay business or for eBay purposes. I did it for other businesses, other financial entities and things like that. But I didn't do it for art. You don't need to do it for art. You don't make it more complicated. Let's see here. Taurus says, I know it is hard now. I am on a fixed income now, but I joined so I can change my life how it is now. I am tired of my income needed change only. You can change that outcome. Yes, and you can change it too. Tulio says money attracts money. That's the money magnet effect. Exactly, but and we all hear about it, Tulio, but it becomes cliche. It goes in one ear and out the other. But they teach this in secret societies about it. Maybe I'll make a video slowly, and maybe it'll be next week where I break down some secret society money methods, like secret things. All right, and you know what? Maybe I'll just drop it inside the elite community because I think it'll be too much for you. I think you should pay for that. I think I'll drop it inside the elite community and not on YouTube. But I'm giving you little bits of it right now. And that's a gold mine right there. Don't look at that $1,000, like start slow, $100. Just pay yourself $100 and say to yourself, your goal is to get to $1,000. So that's only 10 weeks. Like we all know we can get $100. We go through $100 like water, all right? Don't give me that. Put that $100 to the side. That way you can just build up to your first $1,000. If you could get that $1,000, the $1,000 is not a savings. It's not for you to ever touch. The $1,000 is to bring luck to you. It's to bring more sales to you. Then when you have the $1,000, you're going to get more money that's going to come to you. And then you're going to be able to get your first $100,000. When you get your first $100,000, you're on the trajectory. Let's see here. Discerning Light says, I intend to join. I just can't until I finish moving. My brother's health situation is serious. Yeah, then understand you can't do what you can't do. That's life. You can only give what you have. And that's life. That's understandable. And we'll still be here for you. Happy that you're here now. Prayers to your family. Maria says, please talk more about this subject. Yes, please. AZ Lady says, I'm on a fixed income too, but in debt. The part of my why, get out of debt. Have more than one income stream. Yep. Taurus says, oh, pray he will improve. Sorry you are going through this. Yeah. Our prayers are with your family and your brother. Discerning Light says, thank you so much for your kindness and prayers. Blessings to you. Taurus says, yep. I need to make extra cash. Everything going up. Yeah. Everything's going up and nobody's going to take care of you but you. Nobody's going to take care of you but you. Nobody's going to be there for you, your family, but you. You have to take care of yourself. And sometimes it's like, I love this quote where it was like, Sometimes people think that prayer is a substitution for work. And there's this old story where it's like the person was waiting to be saved from the hurricane or by a natural disaster, and then there was a boat that came by. There was a helicopter that came by. There was a dog that came by. The person perishes, and then they go to heaven, and they're like, God, how come you didn't save me? He goes, I did. I sent you the boat. I sent you the dog. I sent you the helicopter. You didn't want to do the work. Prayer is not a substitution for hard work. Like God already answered your prayers by giving you 2 arms, 2 legs, a brain. You're a phenomenal person. You're smart. Of course you're smart. You're here. If you weren't a smart person, you wouldn't be here on the stream right now. So he's already blessed you. Think about, how many people in this world who wish that they had the opportunity to just work and make a living, or work in general, just work. They would work for free. I get people who hit me up on YouTube from South Africa or these third world countries. And they're like, man, I wish that I just had the opportunity to work. Like, even if we work or whatever, we get nothing, but just the work, that would be cool. So God has already blessed you by that opportunity. So sometimes it's like people are like waiting for a golden opportunity. There is no golden opportunity. Nobody's coming to help you but you. And then once you come to that mindset, you're able to scale even more. You're able to scale more when you come to the realization that the only person that you could depend on is you. That no one is coming to save you. No government, no secret funds, only you. And sometimes we get so caught up into how other people, it's so funny. Sometimes in our society, we're even caught up into thinking that just because people have certain things, it must be because they're bad people or they worship the devil or whatever. And it's like, by the time that you're already done with that mindset, you're broke, you're old, you're dead, and they already blessed their family with whatever circumstance, and you don't even know the whole story or whatever. But sometimes we're so conditioned in our mind, like there's nobility in being broke. There's nobility in making things complicated. No, there's not. There's nobility in, like, you're allowed to get your heaven right now. Let's see here. I'm really enjoying listening to your advice and your mindset. I appreciate that. Let's see here. 717 Best says, did you take any Tony Robbins workshop? No. I didn't take any Tony Robbins workshop. Why do you ask that? Is that stuff that he talks about? I'm done with this one. Cool, right? Look at that. There we go. I think it's a cello. Huh? Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Look, we did this together. If I could do it, you could do it. I had one more painting in me. We only did 3 16 by 20s today, but that's fine. I mean, we're having a good conversation. I think the conversation is more rich today. The paintings are great too, but you know what I'm saying. PD just said, I just tuned in. That painting looks good. Thank you. I appreciate you for being here. Leave a like if you haven't. Nobody's going to save you but you. That's so true. 717 Best says, Discerning Light says, I have discovered my innovative spirit by being broke though. Yeah, that happens because once you hit rock bottom, you're free to do anything. Gems. I mean, I think that most people should hit. I think most people should hit be broke. Because once you're broke, it opens up what you're capable of doing. Then you're free. Like, what do you realize that everything of what you were thinking of is not that serious. Things that you were worried about is not that serious. That's where my mindset comes from. I've been broke before. I've been broke a lot of time. I've been broke more than I was rich. And I just know the mindset, but I know how important it is to free and help other people, because if I can do it, then you can do it. We can all do it. But it's just that a condition of a mindset that they try to set us in. And they also they put these other conditions in front of us, but we can free ourselves. They don't want us to be free. It's only when I hit rock bottom, I was free to do anything. And I was free to, if I was just in a comfortable, content situation, then I wouldn't be able to help people. I wouldn't be able to feel like I have nothing to lose. I don't care what I'm saying or what I'm, some people like you are my tribe, but some people aren't my tribe and my messages don't resonate with them. Just like, for example, like Tony Robbins, what she was saying, some people don't resonate with him and that's fine. They're not the tribe. And you can't make everybody the tribe. That's fine. But once you're authentic and once you go through these life situations, you're free to do anything that you want, and you realize it's not the end of the world. The only worst enemy is your brain. The only worst enemy is yourself. The only limitations out there is you that you put on yourself. And you put these limitations on yourself at times because you're thinking that people are checking for you. You're so important. You're so important. And then you're not. Then you realize, like, hold on. I'm missing out on living my life and living to the best potential of me because I'm thinking that people are checking for me or that I'm that important. And then you realize that you're not. And then years go by and then these people are actually living their lives. They're living their lives and you're not living your life. These people are living in some form of authentic, even if they're not. And they're not. Like they're checking for you and they're not. And you're worried about it. Like once you hit rock bottom, you're free. That's why I say I love the movie Fight Club. It's not about the title of the thing where it's like, oh, it's about fighting, because it's not. It's more like philosophical more than anything. I mean, that movie taught me so much more, even just the book. I mean, it came out in 97. So that was like, dang, that's already 30 years ago now, almost 30 years ago. But it was like a time bomb. It made so much sense to me. And one of the quotes that Brad Pitt, his character, has on there, he was like, the things you own end up owning you. And it's only when you hit rock bottom that you're free to do anything. It's free. That's when you're free to be great. Because we're all great, but man, society has conditioned us to be like, yeah, the desperation. When you're hungry, you're hungry. Like, and then you have nothing to lose. Like, what's the worst that's going to happen? I'm broke right now. So what's the worst that's going to happen? Somebody's going to give me mean words online, or my ego's so involved where I'm making ugly art. I'm broke right now. I'm broke right now. I got a palette right there that I just spent my last penny on, and I need to dish those off. I don't care if I'm going to do 100 paintings a day or I'm going to do as many. I'm going to figure it out and I'm going to get it out to the system. I'm going to break the system. I'm going to make them realize that even if they do try to hide me, because the world's already been hiding me enough,
or playing with my time, they can't do it. That's how I treated eBay. Because eBay is such a system where they have to recognize my listings there. They have to recognize it. I could have done that all day on Instagram and it ain't gonna make no difference. I could do that all day if I had my own website. I scaled my own website. It doesn't make no difference because I can't bring the traffic in there. People who don't understand the game, they would say dumb stuff to me. They would go, "Oh, well, instead of selling on eBay, why don't you just sell it on your own website?" Do you honestly think that I could bring over 1 billion people onto my own website? Like eBay already has the traffic. They already have 140 million credit cards that's already linked up that's ready to buy your stuff. Even on my best day, and I'm creating the best art on Instagram, and I'm spending like I would, you know how much money I would have to spend on meta ads to funnel people onto my own website just so they can purchase some artwork that's $5,000, $10,000 just so I could pay for the ads that I got them to come over to the thing. And the thing is, they don't know who I am. So even if you like the artwork, you still have to have different meta points. So that's why YouTube is the best, because usually before someone purchases or they make a transition into a course or to do the work, they still have to watch your video a few times and they have to get adjusted to who you are. They have to know your personality. They have to watch your stuff. And then they can make the decision if they want to do that purchase. It ain't just like somebody sees, oh, that's pretty art, and let me click sale. It doesn't work like that. So, hey, just spend all this time on a website. What are you talking about? Like when I hear this stuff in 2026, it makes me think like you're either a gatekeeper or you're not selling art. You don't know what you're talking about. That doesn't work like that. Like the data point is already there for eBay. And eBay has no choice since they spend $3 billion just last year from June. Yeah, from last year to June to now, they spent $3 billion, or annually they spend $3 billion consistently. And that's just on their marketing. So they have no choice when they're playing like that. They have no choice where I'm getting rid of the art. I'm putting myself out there. I'm putting my listings, and my category is not so. Our category is not so saturated, where it's like people selling clothes and electronics and things like that. So they have no choice but to give me the money. They have no choice. And I'm bringing people to the party because of the auctions. So I'm not sitting on my hands waiting for people to buy it from my buy it now. They have no choice because even if they want to play games, I already worked to gain these collectors. So these collectors, they see on their phone that I have an auction going every night because I'm being consistent. They're already now it's programmed in their mind. Corbellic's consistent every single day. He's got these new artwork. So even if the algorithm wants to play games, like let's say eBay, the corporation, they want to be like, you know what? There's a cycle where they want to actually keep certain entrepreneurs broke because companies do this. This is a deeper topic. But there's certain seasons where they don't want you to be an entrepreneur, because why would they want to give so much power to citizens to where you're your own business? They have to kind of hide it a little bit. So even though eBay says they're a business of that, they're also a business where they can shadow the sale to make sure you're not an entrepreneur. But they can't do that when it's the auction time, because I've already worked for the collector. The collector's showing up because I've gained them anyways. So the collector's going to show up. It's not the algorithm that's bringing the collector who I already gained. They have to show up, and then when they do, they buy from the buy it now. So I'm forcing the game. That's why I love eBay. All right, let's see here. Oh, it's not in sync. Uh-oh. Is it in sync? Tell me if it's in sync. If it's not in sync, then I gotta go into the I have to change the sound decimal thing on the streaming. It's not the streaming, it's the streaming platform then. Let me know if it's in sync. I was not in sync with Tony Robbins because he was always talking about action. And now I realize how right he is. We have to take massive action. Let me know if my audio is synced up, because it's the software then, and I don't know why it's out of place. I think I would have to increase this decimal thing, and I don't know if I could do it from inside the thing. Let me know if it's in sync, and I could increase the decimal right now. We can see if that works. Please let me know. All right, it said sound is good. All right, cool. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you, 717 Best. I appreciate you, Discerning Light. I appreciate you, Natalie. I appreciate you, Tulio. All right, cool. All right. You know me, I don't want to keep going on my tangents, right? And we're not synced up, because then they'd be like, all right. All right, let's do this. Oh, what time is it? All right, this got to be the last painting, because I gotta I have a one-on-one at 11. So these are the things that I did to scale up. And I'm like, they have no choice but to recognize me. Like, there's no other platform that if I put the work in really like that, they could play games with me if they want to. If I did that on Amazon, they could play games with me. If I do that on Etsy, they could play games with me. They could hide me and they could do whatever, because I'm telling you, these corporations, this is a deeper talk, but these corporations, they're all under an umbrella of a larger corporations that owns them, and that has the puppet show of who makes money and who doesn't. But as long as I force myself with eBay, it's like, regardless of whatever happens on that, that's why I do the auction game and I do the buy it nows. The auction game is because we worked our butt off. You worked your butt off to gain those collectors. It doesn't matter that your first month or whatever, oh, the low sell or whatever. I congratulate those, because you earned that collector. The collector saved you to their favorites. So when you have the auctions, they have no choice but to show up. Even if eBay wanted to not promote you, even if eBay wanted to play games or whatever, and the entrepreneur games, the collectors that you earned those, and they're going to show up regardless, because the collector didn't need the eBay algorithm for them to show up to your party. All right, I appreciate you. All right, let's get to it. Let's get to it. That's why I love eBay. It's like a love-hate relationship sometimes, though. But I love them. They gave me the opportunity of a lifetime. I wouldn't be here right now talking to you if it wasn't for eBay. But also, they gave me the chance where, okay, I was hungry, I'm poor, I'm in a situation, I'm dire. Do you want the opportunity? Yes, I want the opportunity. Prove me you want the opportunity. Okay, I'll prove you I want the opportunity. It's up to you. You're a business. I don't know how it was back in the day. People said it was much easier back in the day, I'm sure, but it wasn't as saturated. It wasn't a market, whatever. It is what it is. Yesterday's prices is not today's prices. I can't complain about what today and yesterday is. I always say that quote, yesterday's prices is not today's prices. Don't be talking to me about yesterday, because yesterday's prices is not today's prices. Even if I get a collector who says, oh, but your price was this. Even if you get somebody who tries to come to you and they say, well, your price is this, and what about your price was this yesterday, or what about your price was this on last? Why are you talking to me about yesterday? Yesterday's prices isn't today's prices. And even though we pay the subscription, we pay the subscription just to do the business and to have our artwork that's on eBay. But eBay is a business. eBay's not there to help us sell. It's up to us to do it. It's up to us to, they give us all the tools. They give us tools with the promotion rates. They give us tools with the discounts to get people in there. And that's a blessing because we would not be able to generate this much traffic. And I don't want anybody to take this for granted, especially if you just started off with eBay, about how special this opportunity is, because nobody else was going to grant you this opportunity. You weren't going to get this opportunity on Instagram. You're not going to get this opportunity on Facebook Marketplace with the scams and the you're not protected and what, you want to meet some weirdo stranger somewhere in a dark alley? I don't think so. eBay is giving us the great opportunity to present our work on the platform that has the #1 traffic. I mean, compared to Amazon. They don't have to give us that opportunity. And if you have the opportunity, then be grateful and work it. Work it like someone begging for the opportunity to work with Pablo Escobar and the Michael's Hobby Lobby cartel. You know, you said you wanted it. They're giving you your shot. Here's your stage. That's how you scale. No one can take it from you. This is your moment. I'm going to make some ugly art. Fine. I'm going to bump my head along the way, make ugly art. But out of it comes beautiful art because it's all subjective. I'm not focusing on it. I'm showing up. This is a great opportunity. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity where I can make some money, take care of my family by scaling up. So when you start paying you start having to start paying yourself and treat yourself like the corporation, you could take the money, right, and put it back into the canvases, put it back into the art. Then from there, you're going to notice that the money's just going to keep going. But the thing is, it's just like any other business, right? You're going to get to a point with your business where you have to keep the ball in the air, like juggling. You have to keep it in the air, because if not, if one thing drops, then it all drops, and you have to keep it going. That's the part about scaling, is that you're in business now, and a lot of us don't want to do it, because what it really means is like, dang, now I have to be held accountable. That's the scariest part about business, really. That's the scariest part about once you start feeling like, oh no, these sales are coming in and these collectors are coming to my store and people are looking at me now. The scary part is, damn, now I have to be consistent. Now I have to show up. It was easier for me before to maybe make an excuse, or maybe, maybe I could sleep in a little bit. Maybe I could just, all the numbers. It's easier for me to do that. But then once it starts clicking, I got to show up to work because people are expecting it. People are expecting me. And if not, then I could lose it all, because you could lose it all very quick. Once things start going good, you got to keep the balls juggling in the air. And it's not by mistake either. I used to feel that way. I used to feel guilty by having success. I used to feel guilty when things were going good, because I used to think that it was luck. Oh, how dare me? It can't happen to me. It must be luck. So I used to do little stupid stuff to try to sabotage it. Then I'm slacking off. I'm not showing up. Then Corbellic Industries got to fire me. And the reason why is because it's scary all of a sudden, where it's like, I got to be held accountable. And me And here my ego's still involved because here I got to be accountable, but yet maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe my art's not great. Now, if I'm being held accountable, I'm just going to be showing up making a whole bunch of ugly art, and maybe it doesn't hit the same. All of these factors, you start becoming successful, then all of a sudden your ego starts getting involved again and thinking that you have to, now I got to go back and people are looking at me, so I got to make pretty stuff. And it doesn't matter. That's the scary part about scaling up sometimes. Scaling up is like you start hitting these successful strides, but then you're thinking that the only reason that you're hitting these successful strides is because there was a Mona Lisa that you thought was there, when really it's just about you being consistent. It's like, now just be consistent making the ugly stuff. Don't worry about having to revert back. And now people are looking at me, so I got to go back to being pretty. I mean, we all make pretty art, even if it is ugly, because we're our worst critic. And the stuff that we're just so harsh on ourselves. But there's people out there who honestly feel like they can't produce art at all, and they love the imperfections of what you're making. They love the art of what you're doing. They would love just to have a sketch of some of your stuff. What I used to do, like a painting like this, right? This used to be one of my original sketches. So I would paint this, and then what I would do is I would also sell the sketch of it. People would be happy just to get the sketch. People would hit me up all the time. Do you have the sketch of that? Or can you do a sketch of that artwork that you've done? I'm trying to tell you, like, to really scale as well too, to really scale, you have to work in the volume and speed of what we talk about, which is the 90 minutes rule. But you know that. But what's important about that is that when you work in the scale of speed, you also have to be comfortable in the happy mistakes. And that you can't predict whatever it's going to be. It's naturally going to be good. I mean, some days are, like I said, I always have a quote where I come to the studio and I'll try to create 100 paintings. And that could also mean like in combination with the 100 drawing or the drawings, right? Or whatever. Just the idea that hopefully I like one of them. I said, hopefully. That doesn't mean that it's going to happen. Hopefully that I like one of them. Now, do you think that the collectors now, out of all of those, they're going to like it? So this is the most important part that I'm going to tell you, and you can put this in your mindset that's going to help you. It's not about what you think is pretty. It's not about what you think is fantastic or whatever you're creating the art. The thing that people are going to start buying from you, and they're going to notice when you're being consistent, they're buying you being prolific. They're buying you, you know? People love to buy a Corbellic. It doesn't matter if it's good, bad, or whatever. They know that he's a hard worker. He's prolific. Whatever he's doing, he did that in either such a short period of time, or he's done it where it looks good, but it's looked good only because he's worked the art and he's free. His ego is free. That's how you need to be as well. And think about your artwork. Don't think too much about each piece being beautiful. Think about the grand scheme of it, where it's at, of your 1,000 paintings. Think of when you're doing your painting right now, think that you're in the future and you're working on the 1,000 painting. So where does this painting lay at? It lays in the middle of lost. It's lost in the middle. No one's even noticing the difference between that painting that you just did and the 1,000 one that you did. It's lost in there. It's all a project. You need to be thinking about Not this painting of a project. This painting is adding to the 1,000 paintings that we're doing, and that's one project. People buy that because you're prolific. That's how Picasso became famous. It's not because he was doing one beautiful painting at a time. It's because all of it was a project at that point. They're buying him. Don't think about your one painting that's good or bad, because think about a large painting that we have on a wall. It's a large mural, or it's a large canvas. Some parts that's in the corner is just a black part, or a part that's blue or whatever. The other part is the principle of whatever the character is. The other part is a piece of white. That's a whole project. But if someone would chop it up into pieces, some parts of the pieces would be better than others, and some will be ugly. But it's all one project. Look at all your paintings that way. Get on to the next one. Be quick to go on to the next one, because the art is only going to sell by how the project is that you showed up. You're prolific. I hope that makes sense, because that's really how I look at art when I'm working fast. And even if I'm having a bad day, and I show up and I do at least 40, 50 paintings, right? And let's just say all of them suck. They won't suck because I'm being prolific and it's all one project. And then the ugliest one, or whatever I think is, it gets lost in the fog of the middle of them anyways. And I'm able to scale that way. I'm able to scale because I'm thinking of projects of multiple canvases. Tulio says, I sold my first buy it now painting yesterday for $100. It was a painting that I had put up for auction twice and no one had bought it. Exactly. That's the game. That is the game. There's so many paintings that you'll put up for auction and no one will bite it, but that doesn't mean that it's not a great painting and that nobody wants it. Certain paintings are just better when they're in the auctions or when they're in the buy it now. And you'll get a better idea of which ones it is the more that you do it. And it's just weird how the game works like that. But you also, I'm sure you also made a little bit of money because it was international. All right, I got to finish this up soon. I'm going to be late. All right, I'm going to be wrapping this up soon. So let me know in the comments if I'm making sense. If you appreciate these jewels that I was dropping today, and the jewels that I was dropping this week. I was dropping some really good science. But I think today was a really good discussion about scaling. Because a lot of times when people hear scaling, they're thinking more physical, right? They're thinking, oh, you buy this, you buy that. Here's the price point, you do this. And we have those things broken down as well too in the community. But it's more so a mindset of scaling up, because that's where everything starts. I really enjoyed today's topic. And you know what? Maybe some of you aren't at that stage yet to really appreciate what I was saying today. And that's fine too, you will. And then when you're at that point, then it will make sense to you. Be like, whoa, Corbellic, you said something like that months ago. Now I get it.
Another thing is like if you want to scale up, no one's going to believe in you to scale up but yourself. Could you imagine asking another human, especially when other humans have other natural tendencies about you not succeeding more than them, but could you imagine asking someone else, "Hey, excuse me, Mr. Friend or Mrs. Friend or sister, brother, can I scale my business up now? Is that okay? Can I scale my business up now? Is that fine?" Imagine that. Do I have permission to be successful now? Is can I do that? I don't know. I'll let you know. I'll get back to you. Do I have permission to take my business serious now? Is that okay? I would really like to do it. I don't know. I think you'll be a starving artist. I'll let you know. And then when you show up with the new car, the new clothes, then they celebrate you or they ask questions. You know, they're so curious. Hey, so what's going on lately? Is everything okay? We haven't seen you in a while, and you know, you're showing up here with. Did you just happen to come into money, or what's new? Maria says, I've been in the community since November and it's been wonderful. I'm the one working life out, and all of your tips are truly helping me through that. I could have stalled out, but this talks keeps me going. I appreciate that. I appreciate you being here. All right, there could have been a little bit more that I could have done to this, but I got to get this show on the road so I'm not late to my meeting. I appreciate everybody here. I had a great week. Hope that you appreciated the gems. Leave me likes in here. If you haven't already, please leave a like on the video before you dip out. Leave me a super chat if you can for the weekend. Buy me a coffee, buy me a lunch. My employer, he's a stickler. So this is my only chance that I could pull in something for myself. All right. Tulio says, today you dropped some gems that are very valuable to me. Thank you. I hope I drop gems every day that's valuable to you, brother. We're over here saving lives. These are things that save my life. All right. No more dibble dabble. Lord knows I could keep going. That's it. Let me sign it, show you what the finished product looks like. So remember what we talked about today. Scale your business up, scale your mind, believe in yourself. Start there because no one else is going to believe in you but you. No one's going to do the work for you but you. All right, this is what we got. This is a beautiful one, right? This is one of my original sketches. Had fun doing it, had fun painting with you. You know, we had a good time today. Really great conversation, really good discussion. Oh, all right. So there we go right there.
All right, he got some paintings done. That's what's up, Jim. Awesome. All right. Have a great weekend, everybody. I appreciate everybody in here. Congratulations to everybody out there who's doing well in your art. Even if it's one sale, congratulations. That's a big step because that's part of scaling. That's the first step to scaling your business is having the first collector, the first sale, the first bid. That's the first step. That's the biggest step to $1 million, all right? Because nobody's gonna pay you like you pay yourself. Nobody's gonna do the work, and nobody's going to take care of you like you're gonna take care of yourself, all right? So I appreciate you. If you're not already a part of the elite community, click the link below or click the link that's in the chat right now. It's pinned to the top, and you could join us, get in there, do this all yourself. Have the community that's also here. They'll support you as well along the way. Got a great community. I hope you guys have a great, safe weekend. Enjoy yourself. Also, put the work in, but put the work in so you can be able to enjoy yourself. And when you enjoy yourself with your friends, family, or whatever, mentally take your way away from eBay. All right. This is something that I was guilty of for years. And I'm just trying to tell you that as a life lesson. All right. Just take your mind off of it when you get away from it, but only if you're able to show up and do the work. All right. I appreciate you. I love you guys. I'll see you guys next week.